When a fluid such as wind passes through a narrow or restricted passage along its trajectory, its speed increases. This is known as the Venturi effect. Let's use the example of wind blowing over a hill. At point A, the lower and upper winds are traveling at the same speed. At point B, the lower we descend into the air mass, the faster the wind speed is. Notice that the winds closest to the hill are the fastest. In fact, the wind is being compressed between the hill and the weight of the atmosphere. At point C, near the top of the hill, the speed is the highest because the atmospheric weight forces the wind through a narrow passageway. So as to ensure a constant flux, the wind is forced to catch up by accelerating. We also see the Venturi effect occur when wind travels through a mountain pass. As the wind blows through the pass, the airstream will be compressed. Like the wind blowing alongside the hill, it will also speed up as it makes its way through the narrow passageway. The wind gradient is the variation of wind speeds at different altitudes. This phenomenon is present at any altitude in our atmosphere, but the wind gradient we are interested in is the one where wind speeds decrease at low altitudes close to the ground during our landings. That is, at altitudes less than 50 meters from the ground. Why does the wind speed slow down? The air is a fluid with a certain viscosity that sticks to obstacles. In doing so, it loses a lot of its energy. The further we descend, the slower the wind will blow because of the gradient effect. This effect is present on fields full of obstacles such as hedges, but be careful. It may also be present on flat, obstacle-free fields. During landing procedures, the pilot must be extremely vigilant when dealing with the wind gradient. As soon as the wing encounters the gradient, it will lose relative airspeed. The only way to make up for the lost speed is to lose altitude. The wing will accelerate by itself, and in some cases it will roll off. Maintaining a sufficient amount of speed during the final approach is recommended to deal with this effect, an effect that can be dangerous close to the ground. Make a note of the fact that the altitude loss is directly proportional to the gradient's intensity. Learning the rules and regulations is an important part of your training. Thoroughly understanding them will make the activity safer, allow you to anticipate and avoid potential hazards, and gain precious time in case you have to make a quick decision. They'll determine your course of action depending on the location of your flight, the presence of other aircraft in the same airspace, or weather conditions and other criteria that we're going to look at. The rules we'll cover in this chapter are internationally accepted and enforced in most countries. We've done our best to point out exceptions. As a rule, however, you should always keep in mind that rules may differ from one country to another. Before leaving to fly abroad, find out about the regulations of the country you're visiting, and remember to respect local laws. You'll usually find them on the website of the National Federation. The increase in air traffic over the years has led civil aviation authorities to create aircraft categories and rules to establish priority among them. Hot air balloons have priority over all others. They move slowly and have a lot of inertia. All other aircraft must yield the right of way to them. Then comes the sailplanes, paragliders and hand gliders. They all belong to the same category. Motorized aircraft, such as helicopters or airplanes, have the least priority in terms of right of way. As we've just seen, each category of aircraft has a different degree of priority. Sailplanes, hang gliders and paragliders all belong to the same category. In reality, questions of right-of-way will mostly arise with other paragliders or with hang gliders. Flying in the same airspace as sailplanes or private airplanes is rare. Let's go over the rules of priority that prevent paragliders from colliding. The prime rule is the following. It's the pilot's responsibility to take all possible measures to avoid a collision with any other aircraft. The animations that follow present the collision avoidance rules. They are not to scale. Try to maintain a safe distance from the other aircraft. First situation. Two paragliders are approaching head-on with a risk of collision. In this case, both aircraft shall alter course to the right. In case of hill or ridge soaring, this rule is modified. Two paragliders are approaching head-on when ridge soaring. The pilot with the ridge on the left should move out so that the other can maintain course without having to turn into or over the ridge. New situation. Two paragliders have converging courses. When two aircraft of the same classification converge at approximately the same altitude, the one with the other on its right shall give way. On the right is in the right. In flight, if you come across a situation like this, act as quickly as possible. It's pointless to wait till the last minute before reacting, moving out of the way and scaring both yourself and the other pilot. Because each wing has its own technical specifications, your paraglider may fly faster than others. Passing someone is permitted. Internationally, passing is typically done on the right. The aircraft being passed has the right of way, except in Italy where the glider overtaking has priority but must allow enough safety clearance. The glider being overtaken gives way, avoiding any change in direction that might interfere with the overtaking glider's path. Also, in England and in Italy, in free space away from a hill, paragliders can pass on the left as well as the right. When ridge soaring, a paraglider overtaking another glider that is flying in the same direction should pass between the ridge and the glider being overtaken. If you're overtaking the pilot and there is no room to pass, just turn back. When thermaling, the first pilot to enter a thermal establishes the required turning direction in that thermal. All paragliders joining shall circle in the same direction as any other gliders already established in the lift. In order to keep the sky safe and accident-free, you must know these rules. Nevertheless, be flexible when flying. Don't rely on others to always respect your right of way. Faced with a disrespectful or inattentive pilot, you're better off abandoning your priority and changing your heading. Anticipate these situations early and react decisively so that other pilots flying around you know what your intentions are.
My name is Russell Ogden. I work for Ozone Paragliders as a test pilot. I work with David Dagoult and Jerome Canot in the test team.